Hey guys, Jackson Lewis from Canada. Wow, 2 movies in one day. I got to make up for 2 years of not doing any videos. It's been a crazy couple of years. Life's changed a lot. Couple different jobs changing around. Luckily, they've turned out to be better jobs. And just giving you a couple reviews over gear I've had over the time. On top of the jobs, there's been medical problems and all that. I mean, I'm sitting here in an air boot. Won't talk about that. Anyway, just sort of talking about today, a piece of gear I no longer have. I traded it for, well, the piece of gear I traded it for, just did the other video on, but this, if I can get it off the stand, Ibanez Prestige RG 2610E. But the piece of gear I'd like to talk about that I traded to get this is the HeadRush Pedalboard. HeadRush Pedalboard is another one of the digital amp setups, digital rig pedalboard setups. It can be your amplifier, it can be your pedals, it can be your everything for bass and guitar. I bought that probably a year and a half ago. I played with it. I learned how to use it pretty effectively. I bought it kind of at a bad time. I bought it right before I left a band. So it's one of those things where, I bought this piece of gear to make my life in a band easier, but now I'm not in a band. Oh, well, what do? You still learn how to use it. You check it out and see what you can get from it. I think it's a very versatile piece of gear. It's a very user-friendly piece of gear. Everything can be run from the rig itself without a computer if you want, with just a basic touchscreen setup that you can see if you go look up the piece of gear. Sorry, I don't have a piece of gear to show you. But yeah, you can run everything through it. You can get everything from your, old school Vox and Fender sort of sounds to all the way up to your dual rectifier, Soldano type amps, as well as your bass rigs. You can go from big thunderous sound and stuff down to more of a old school jazz sort of sound for amps. You can set up your rig through it. You can set up everything from your reverb pedal down to your tube screamer. Lots of this stuff's already known, so I shouldn't ramble on too long. Of what these kinds of rigs can do. Of course, there's the HeadRush itself. There's the Helix from Line 6 and the Helix LT also from Line 6. Line 6 has released all kinds of stuff in this. Down to just a little thing where it can, your little stomp box rig where it can just be effects instead of amps too. Kemper, of course, has been in that game for a long time. Boss has been trying to do stuff too. I know I'm forgetting at least one. Took a hit to the head for part of the reason I'm in the cast. So my memory's not perfect. I think it's a good piece of gear, especially for the price point. When you look at the fact that the Helix LT, which is the, of course, LT Lite version of the Line 6 Helix, is, I believe it's at least $300 more as a piece of gear compared to the HeadRush, which is running about 1,300 Canadian, while the Helix LT is running about 1,600 Canadian, depending on the day and your retailer. The Helix LT, I think, has a lot to offer. Frankly, the reason I sort of got out of it was, well, like I said before, I'm not currently playing in a band formation right now. I've gotten a couple new offers, but it's just what do I need right now? It comes down to what do I need, what do I want, and what are the deficiencies, or am I really going to use this even in a band formation? I've still got an old school pedal board that's set up with what I need. Would I like to compact that? Yeah, I would. But I'm just not finding absolutely everything I want. And even nitpicky stuff. you know, this isn't the perfect overdrive. This, I mean, are the people in a crowd I'm playing to gonna notice? No, they won't. But, you know, we as musicians get anal over our sound and our tone, where it's gotta make it for us, or it doesn't make it at all. We gotta, you know, other musicians are gonna be listening to it. Are they? No, Steve Vai's not listening to my record. So we do that. Other nitpicky stuff I sort of got that sort of lost me with it was, and this was the major reason, was lineups. For some reason, some pedals weren't allowed to go in the exact order I wanted them to. Why it wouldn't allow that, I don't know. And the major reason, which is still nitpicky, was there was a delay with effects. You would hit the pedal on or off, and it would take probably about a fifth to a quarter of a second. Maybe it's shorter, maybe it's longer, but you know, in that range. And you would hear to have the effect go on and off, and it would just sort of pop in and pop out as you press the pedal, rather than being instantaneous. That is something you will get generally with multi-effects stuff. It's not as seamless, but others are definitely more seamless and have put more effort into becoming seamless. The Line 6 Helix, frankly, it's such a quick shift. It's one of those things of, I know there is this delay, but I can't notice it. Like, my ears just aren't noticing it compared to the sound of my amp, whereas with the HeadRush board, I can notice the pop coming through my amplifier. It's one of those things of, well, what do you need? How nitpicky are you going to get? What do you want? Do you want user-friendly, or do you want perfection? User-friendly versus perfection definitely come with all sorts of stuff. It's the, you know, well, it's the cost. Other stuff that is more user-friendly and less costly, you're going to get little things like that. Can you put up with that just to be able to change on the fly and be able to just swoop stuff around on a touch screen if you need to? A lot of people will trade that for the perfection in sound. I mean, I sort of thought I would, but it just sort of came to a point where, you know, I've spent so much time using this, you know, and learning how to use it, where it's like, I just feel I could have better, or I already have better, depending on, you know, if I go back to a standard tube-driven rig. You can't see my mezza, but my mezza's over there. Versus the simplicity of the all-in-one rig. You know, some people are willing to trade that. I was for quite a while. I mean, like I said, I spent about 18 months learning how to use it and just sort of having fun with it. But at that point of, okay, I've had my fun with it. I think it's a cool setup. But okay, it's not getting used enough because I just don't. I'm not playing in a band. What do I need it for? I don't have to worry about dragging my 150-pound amplifier everywhere versus, you know, a 15-20-pound pedal board. So it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about that. I've had my fun with it. The little things are there. Can I live with them? Probably, but it's not getting used. Piece of gear not getting used is wasteful when other people could be enjoying it. If someone else can enjoy it, let them. You know, I kind of have to laugh, even I'm saying that, and the piece of gear I traded it for is a guitar that's this Ibanez Prestige that's absolutely fantastic, but it's also a piece of gear and a guitar I don't need. It's a very good piece of gear. One of the best pieces of gear I've ever traded for, and I'm still sitting here going, I got this and I don't need it. Why did I do that? Well, it's like, okay, well, I guess it turns out the same as the HeadRush. I have my fun with it and then trade it or sell it for something else that I need more, or just something else I want to try. Anyway, again, I'm starting to ramble, but I just sort of wanted to give you my opinion on the HeadRush. I wish I had the piece of gear so I could, you know, tootle through it with the camera, but There's enough videos on that from Ryan Bruce, aka Fluff, and I believe even Ola England has video on it, on the HeadRush. It's a good piece of gear. I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. You know, the stuff that's I see as a problem with it is very minor. It's still solidly built. It's well constructed. It gives you everything you're ever going to need to gig. And, you know, sometimes a gig, you know, we get gigs that are like, yeah, this is worth dragging my amp out to and having it look cool with my, you know, full stack or half stack on the stage. But there's gigs where it's like, yeah, no, this is going to be a slow gig and it's not worth breaking my back to drag that around. You know, like I said, it's good. It's a solid 7.5 out of 10. It's a good piece of gear. There's just little stuff that probably could have been worked on a little more. Granted, had it been, we would probably be paying at least a couple $100 more for the stock piece of gear. I mean, it would be nice if in updates they find a way to mitigate that, you know, especially that little delay from the effects button. Anyway, that's just sort of my quick little voice review of the HeadRush Pedalboard. It's been Jackson Lewis from Canada, so everyone have a good day.